Today we are talking about motherhood. We are talking
Motherhood.
about some of the honest truths about being a mom.
Mhm, mhm.
And this is not about mom bashing. We are
It's
both
just
mothers.
being very honest and transparent
Yes.
about the exhaustion and the overwhelm feeling and the demands of just
Hmm.
being a nurturer, being a mother.
Yes. Yes. And we would love for you all to, be a part of the conversation and the comments and
Mhm.
all the things.
Yep.
So the first thing we're
Yeah.
going to start out with is a question,
Mhm. Mhm.
Denise.
Mhm.
Dig
Do I
deep
have to
for this.
answer it? Yeesh.
Yes, you have to answer
I do?
it. What is one thing about motherhood that you could not say out loud until now?
I was tired. I was tired of being a mother, and I
Mm,
definitely didn't want to say that because I didn't want my husband or my kids to think I was tired of them. You know what I
mhm,
mean?
mhm,
I didn't wanna put a label or make it personal, but I was tired of being a
mm,
a mother, and, at some point in there, I was mothering and caretaking and I would wake up crying and go to bed crying because I was just
mm,
exhausted. I was
mhm,
exhausted, and I thought I was being punished, like, "God, what did I do to deserve this?" And, so many other things have happened in my life, and then here I am now caring and being a caretaker and trying to take care of my kids and take care of my grandmother and be a wife to my husband. And then I also worked a full-time job, and there was just not enough of me to go around. So there was a lot of crying in the car by myself. There was a lot of
mm,
crying in the showers.
mm,
I was just exhausted. I absolutely love my kids, but I was absolutely exhausted and tired of mothering.
mm. Yes,
Mhm, mhm.
I would say there were times when I didn't wanna be a mom anymore. I wanted to tap out. I wanted to tap out of the mothering stuff.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, at every stage. I know you hear women say, "Oh my god, I loved, birthing my children." No, that shit was painful. I did not love it. Like, I liked being pregnant, but I also didn't have complications.
Yeah,
But I
mhm,
didn't like labor. I didn't enjoy that. I didn't enjoy the recovery. That wasn't fun for me. I wasn't a big fan of cleaning up baby poop and
mhm,
stuff.
mhm.
Even though women, "Oh, it's my baby. I don't care." No, and I was
Yeah,
at a
I enjoyed
graduation
being
the other
pregnant
day.
too, but I didn't enjoy the
No,
rest of
no, and
that.
I was at a graduation the other day, and the woman in front of us was changing the baby's diaper, and it was windy, and of course, it just the scent just starts blowing, and you're like, "Oh my god, I know I smell baby poop," and the woman's like, "Oh, I'm so sorry, excuse me," and it
Mhm.
just reminded me how much I hated changing dirty diapers. I changed the diapers, I did all the
Mhm.
things,
You did all the things.
but I didn't like that. I also didn't like how there was so much you don't know
Yeah,
about it, and there's
yeah,
so much you don't know if you're doing right.
yeah.
It was and a lot of times as a parent, as a mom, you are modeling what your mom did,
Mhm.
and you think that it's right, you think that that's what should happen, but you don't know, you don't always
Yep.
know, and so
Trial and error.
I yeah,
Mhm,
there was just a lot of sucky parts to, like,
mhm.
mothering,
Yeah.
and there was different stages that I would wish away. Like, I'm like, I can't wait until my kids are out of diapers. I can't wait until they can use the
Yes,
bathroom on their own.
yes.
I
Mhm,
can't wait right until they start driving. I can't wait until I don't have to chauffeur them around all of the different
mhm,
places. I can't
mhm.
wait.
Like all these stages. Mhm,
Yeah,
mhm,
and part of it is what you said, that there was so much that goes
mhm,
with mothering now.
mhm.
I feel like there were, generations ago, mothers could just be mothers. They didn't have to work. They may not have been caring for anybody else. They
They
could
weren't
just
dropping
be
kids
the
off at
mom.
soccer and at baseball and at football and at all that stuff, but,
Yeah,
yeah.
they could
Mhm,
just be the mom. That is
mhm,
it. And
mhm,
so I really found a lot of parts of it to be quite sucky. The
mhm,
things that I liked were My children, I actually did, like, different phases of, like, their growth and evolution.
Mhm, mhm.
But I yeah, I really
No one tells you
didn't
that
enjoy it 100% all the time.
no one tells you that motherhood is an evolution, like it's ever evolving, but it never stops. Like the evolution never stops. It never
Mhm,
stops even as they are become adults. It still
mhm.
never stops, you know?
Right, right,
And
right.
so it's like a revolving door. You know, you're
Mhm,
from one phase to the next, from one phase to the next. And if you have multiple kids, you're going through those phases multiple times, different ways, you know,
mhm,
and
mhm.
it never stops. It never
Yeah.
stops. It doesn't turn off, you
That
know.
is a very good point. It is a
Mhm.
never-ending job. It is a
Mhm.
permanent position.
Mhm. Mhm.
Permanent.
Mhm.
Right?
Mhm.
Whether you're good at the job or are terrible at the job,
Mhm.
or they're
Mhm.
giving you medals and awards and trophies for the job,
Mhm.
it
Mhm.
never ends. To
Stop.
choose to be a mom is a lifelong commitment. It's
Mhm.
not just until they're 18 commitment. It's not
Mhm.
just until they move out the house commitment. It's not that. It's a
It's a lifetime.
lifelong commitment.
Mhm. Mhm.
And I don't know that women think about that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
know that we think about the fact that the moment you get pregnant with this kid, you're
Mhm.
looking out for them
Mhm. Mhm. Mhm.
in some way, shape, or form.
We're on mental overload from the time that they're born until forever. You're on mental
Yeah.
overload. You're remembering birthdays, you're scheduling appointments, you're checking on everyone, you're worrying about everybody, you're managing the family relationships, you're the family calendar, you're the family therapist, you're the family emergency contacts. You're the chauffeur. You're the driver. You're the homework person. You're the tutorer. You're the cook. You know what I mean? So you're the laundry person. Like everything is just rolling, rolling, rolling. It's nonstop,
Yep.
and it's a
Nonstop.
forever commitment. It's a forever commitment.
Nonstop.
Hmm. Hmm.
Nonstop.
Not to say that there isn't that love and that embellishment that comes with being a mother and seeing your child be successful and seeing your child bloom and grow and coming into their own perspectives and coming into their own personalities. We're not talking about how much gratitude and joy that gives. It's just that part where all the exhaustion never ends. The
Mhm,
nurturing never ends. It really
mhm,
doesn't. And we preach and talk on especially on our podcast about setting borders and putting yourself first and taking care of yourself. As a mother, it is doubly hard to do that. It really is. You really have to be
mhm,
intentional about doing it every single hour of the day. You know, like it's a mental challenge to put yourself first when you are a mother, especially if you are an active mother. It is
mhm.
a mental challenge to put yourself first every hour of the day, every hour of the day, you know?
Mhm. Yeah. You mentioned this before when we were talking about something else. I can't remember now, but like you said, 2 things can be true at the same
Mhm.
time.
Mhm.
2 things can be true at the same time. And anytime women say people hear them complaining about being a mother, instantly here it comes. "Oh, you should be so thankful and grateful.
Mhm.
There's so many women out there who can't have kids and da, da, da." Nobody's saying that, okay? Nobody is saying that we are not grateful. We
Mhm.
love our children. We are blessed by our children.
Absolutely.
And and all the time, every minute of being a mother is not sunshine and roses.
Mhm.
It's
Mhm.
not.
Mhm.
You
Mhm.
can love the product, the kid, and not
Mhm.
enjoy the job all the time.
That's right, just like any other job.
Is
Yep, like any other
that
job.
what this one
And
is nonstop?
it's
Constant, all the time, all
only thing about real life job is you get to clock out, and at least you have some time in between you clocking in again. You
right.
know
You
what
get days
I
off. You get
mean? You get sick days, you get PTO. Get mental health days,
Right,
you know?
exactly,
Mm,
right. You might even get, like, a
mhm, a
holiday party or
holiday
something
here.
out of it. We get one day, maybe Mother's Day, maybe,
Mhm,
you know what I mean?
mhm,
And that is
if
what
they
it is,
remember it.
but yes, 2 things can be true at the same time, ladies, and we have to be honest about it as well,
Mhm,
especially for these women that are coming behind us, which leads us to the next question about motherhood, Denise.
mhm.
Did you feel like you actually had a choice to be a mom? Or did you feel like it was something that was
Was
the part of the
expected,
societal
was
script and you
expected.
just followed it? It was
Mhm.
an expectation.
I think especially in our era, not so much today, I don't think. Not so much today. This generation today are very outspoken, boisterous about their choices and what they will or will not do. But I feel like in my era, yeah, you were expected to become a mother, get married, and if that didn't happen, you were shunned upon like, girl, why you haven't had no kids yet, or why you ain't
Mhm,
married? Like, what's wrong with you?
mhm,
What's going on? You know what I mean? Like,
mhm. Yeah.
so, yes, I do feel like it was expected. Like I said, not so much today. You know, today's women are given grace, I feel,
Mhm,
but we were
mhm.
not given that same grace in our era at all.
Well, I also don't think it was something I considered. I
Mhm,
remember I worked in do you remember this store called Sizes Unlimited? You remember
I do.
Sizes Unlimited? It was a
Mhm,
plus size store, kinda like a
mhm,
Lane Bryant. I worked in this store. I was in high school when I worked in this store. I wanna say I started working there when I was, like, a junior in the summertime. So
mhm,
I worked in this store, and then one of my coworkers, and her name was Nancy. I'll never forget Nancy. She was a little bit older than me. So I was a teenager, so maybe she was, like, young 20s, and she was dating somebody, and someone was like, "Oh, do you think you think you'll get married?" And she's like, "I'm sure I'll get married." And she was just kind of very certain about it. Like, it
mhm,
wasn't something she thought about. She's like, "Sure, I'll get married. I'll find somebody." And I was like, "Oh, you never worry about that?" She's like, "No." And I'm sure you'll find somebody too. And it was also one of those things that I never really questioned, like, after she was talking about, like, why wouldn't that happen? I was like,
mhm.
"Yeah, why wouldn't it? Why wouldn't I get married?
Right,
Why wouldn't I
right.
have kids?" Like, I never thought about another side to that coin, like,
Mm,
what
mhm.
if I don't wanna get married? Like, what if
Yeah,
I
what if
don't
I
wanna
don't
have
want
kids?
kids? Yeah.
Right,
Mhm,
because that just wasn't what was going on at the time, and I was an outlier too because I never planned my own wedding. I knew girls in high school that's like, "I know who's gonna be my wedding, I know what colors
mhm,
I'm gonna wear." What the
mhm,
hell? No, I didn't know all of that stuff,
mhm,
but I still always had this kinda certainty, like, that I would be married and I would have kids, and it was unconscious almost. It was like Nancy affirmed it, but I think it was always there. I
mhm.
never really thought about the
Yeah.
option.
Good. Mhm,
But it's
mhm.
different now. So let's
Yeah,
look at some data. It
very
says
different.
the percentage of non-parents who don't want children doubled from 14% in 2002 to 29% in
Mhm,
2023. That's
mhm,
a Michigan State University study. About 20% of US women are now ending their childbearing years without having children. That's a study from University of Nebraska. And in adults under 49 who don't have kids, 47% don't plan on having them. And guess what the top reason is? They don't want to. That's it. That's a Pew Research study. I
mhm.
just don't
I
want
just don't
to.
want to. Mhm. Well,
Whereas when they were women our age and they didn't have children, it was because they couldn't,
yeah.
right? Like there was something going on, it was
Mhm,
something medical with you or your partner or whatever, and
mhm.
that's why. But they're just like, "No, I just don't want any kids."
My son is 34 years old and he has no kids. And he apologizes to us all the time. He says, "I'm sorry, pops. You're not gonna get a grandchild out of me because I don't want any kids."
Yeah.
And he's very adamant about that. He's like, I don't want any kids. I don't want any
Mhm.
kids. I don't want that responsibility. I don't want that worry. I don't want that emotional weight. And I don't want
Mm.
that person, that little person around that I'm worried about the world harming or somebody doing something to. He says, I don't want that. And so
Mm.
he apologizes and
Mhm.
tell my husband, I think the bloodline is gonna stop with me because I definitely do not want any
Well,
kids.
that's what he's part of. Is he part of that study? Because the reason was
She said he don't want to. Yeah.
just don't want to.
Mm-mm.
Like 47%
Mm-mm.
is a large percentage. That's like half.
Yes.
That's like half,
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
that could be why there's this concern about the population rates and how we're
Mhm.
not having enough children in this country are
Yep.
saying that this is a challenge. But I do think that that generation is about deciding for
Mhm.
themselves what it
Yep.
is they want
Yep.
with their lives.
And mothers, another thing, mothers often feel a guilt that fathers don't carry. What I mean by that is, like, mothers, they feel guilty if they're working too much and not spending enough time with their kids, if they're not working enough and not providing more or off or adding more to the household, or
Mm,
feel guilty because they need a break and they ask for a break, or they want alone time, or they're trying to
mhm,
prioritize themselves. They feel guilty, not that anyone is actually making them feel guilty, but because of the dynamics of their household and what's expected of a mother, that guilt is just kind of laid on us. You know what I mean?
mhm, mhm.
So,
Well, it's funny you say this. Maternal regret. So, a 2025 peer-reviewed study found that maternal regret is deeply entwined with the myth of the good mother and the social expectation of women's self-sacrifice,
mm,
and that most women experiencing it feel they cannot talk about it. You do have this feeling that you're never doing enough, especially when you work outside of the home. So
mhm,
if you work outside of the home, whether it's full time, whether it's part time, you
mhm,
can't make everything. You might miss the kids, first steps because they
mhm,
might be at a daycare
mhm,
center or a
mhm,
childcare center. And
mhm.
then you're like, oh my God, I'm a terrible mother
Yeah,
because I should have been
yeah.
home to see
Mhm,
that. Or
mhm.
your kid has some accident at school and you're like, how did I not know that? There's
Yeah,
always worry that you're not present enough,
yeah.
that something could have been prevented had you been there. You're missing something. You're never giving enough. You're never doing enough. You don't know enough. I remember my oldest son, he had terrible allergies when he
Mhm.
was a child. I would say probably from when he was born, but I didn't know it right
Yeah.
then. It presented itself when he was probably around 1.
Mhm.
And I'm not from a family of allergies. Like I don't have my brother didn't have my mom, it's like allergies wasn't a thing. I did not understand it. And the poor kid broke out into hives. And I'm thinking to myself, like, why wouldn't I know what to do about this? Or like, why didn't I know that he had allergies? We had to go to emergency and get him all kinds of medications and things. And it wasn't until much later that I had to say to my commissioner, that's ridiculous. How would you know? You
But
don't
you
know
know
what you
that.
don't know.
Mhm.
But there is
Mhm.
this idea that mothers should know. We should always know.
Everything.
Not
Everything.
fathers, like you said, not fathers.
Mm-mm.
They get let off the hook for not knowing anything.
Mhm.
People
Mm.
don't expect them to really know sometimes. When they do
Mhm.
know, they're like, "Oh my god, you know that?"
Yep. Yep.
You've read something about parenting, you're a father, right?
Mhm.
But there's
Mhm.
this expectation that mothers should know everything.
Yep. Yep.
We
Mhm.
are the keepers of all kinds of information,
Yes,
and
we
then when
are,
we
honey.
don't know and something happens to our kid, we feel horrible. I remember Jay, because that's my son who had he had eczema and he had allergies, and I learned, like all of that is
Yeah.
intertwined. I didn't know that. Like, you have to take it's just like a whole that's another part too. It's like a whole education.
Yeah. Yeah.
Motherhood is a whole new education. So be
Yeah,
prepared to learn
absolutely.
something if you want to be somewhat good at the job. Like you can
Mhm.
learn nothing
Mhm.
and be crappy at it. But if you
That's
want to be
right.
somewhat good at it, it's going to be an education. And I remember we had taken him again, to get some medication because he has eczema and he was scratched so much because it would be so itchy.
Yeah.
But he had the steroid cream, but you could only use that for so long because then
Mhm.
you have to stop because that had medical.
Yeah.
I remember the daycare. We were at the daycare and the guy because they went to a family daycare, and so the dad said, "There's got to be something you can do for
Gotta be
him."
something different. Mhm.
Right, and I was like, "That's what they told me to do," like, as I'm like, and now I'm feeling bad. I've taken it, we've given him the medicine, whatever.
Yeah.
He's still kinda miserable. I'm a terrible mom. Like, what
Yeah.
mother is allowing their kid to still be itching after they go to the doctor, and
Yeah.
it's just a constant like you said, there's so many areas where we feel
We just
like
don't know.
we are not doing enough. We don't
That's
know
right.
enough,
Mhm.
and we
We
are
don't know
not
what we
being
don't know.
right. We're not being good moms. We're not
Mhm.
being good moms. So you have that regret. Then, as you mentioned before, there's also that invisible load, right? The
Mhm.
mental labor, the
Mhm.
scheduling, the emotional management of everybody in the house. And that is also something that women need to talk more about
Mhm.
because
Mhm.
it is a lot.
Yep. Do you know what one thing that most mothers don't know and no one tells them, well, no one told me, is
Mhm.
that you completely lose your existence when you become a
Mhm.
mother.
Hmm.
It's like
Explain.
somehow, somewhere you don't
You
even know
become
when it
invisible. Like,
happens. Like you it's all about them so much that it's almost like your existence is just kinda because of them. It's
oh, yes,
not because of
yes,
you
yes, yes,
anymore, you know?
yes,
And
yes.
it's so subtle, that you don't even know exactly when it happened. Just all of a sudden one day you're like, "I don't matter." Like,
Mhm.
I'm not even in the
Sometimes it's subtle and then
you know?
sometimes it's obvious because I remember, like, the first Christmas when I had my son, and my mother did not give me a Christmas gift. And I said, where's my gift?" "Oh, you don't get gifts anymore now that you have children. You don't get gifts anymore now that you have children. The gifts go to the grandkids."
Mm, 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 mm.
Right, basically telling me, "I ain't getting you nothing else. I ain't getting you a damn thing." We had to come up with another family solution because I didn't like that one. I was like, "It's Christmas for all? Like, what are you talking about?" But I recognize what you are saying.
Mhm,
You lose your identity, right?
mhm.
Because you're not just Denise anymore. You're such and
Right.
such mom. That's who you
Yep.
are.
Yep.
You're not just you.
I see my daughter, sometimes she's picking up she picks her daughter up from daycare or school, and they'll come in the house and the little ones will talk to me and say, "Emma, I saw, uh, Amy's mom." And I said, "You did?" I said, "Did you say hi?" And she said, "Yeah." She said, I said, "Hi, Amy's mom." And I said, "Well, Amy's mom doesn't have a name." I don't know.
That's who they identify her as.
Mhm,
So,
mhm,
yes, a woman who went viral in early 2025 described it this way, it says, "Grieving her old self, her old freedom, the girl who had such a solid identity because now it's not so solid."
mhm,
Wow. She
mhm,
described rebuilding as a process with
mhm,
no exact
mhm.
roadmap.
Yeah.
Mm. The Journal of Midlife Health found that more than 40% of women aged 35 to 55
Mhm.
reported midlife crisis symptoms shaped by the gap between who you expected to be and who you
And who
became.
you became.
Yes, from
Mm.
all of the different
Mhm,
roles.
mhm. And adult children bring on a
Mhm,
whole new challenge, and here is that evolution continuing to happen in the parenting realm that
mhm,
never ends, and they bring a whole new challenge, they're making choices that you don't agree with, you're worried about them, they're telling you things that you're trying to advise them against, they're not listening, you're trying to release them and let them go on their way, but you see them heading down a path that is not good for them and you're worried about that. Then they want you to fix things that you're not able to fix. And then you're continue to carry their emotional weight. And then you're struggling with letting them go. It's like the adult children, they bring on a whole new set of challenges.
this time, I feel like for midlife, women who've had children, we'll just say in their 20s, because now some women, they don't have kids till their 40s, so they have little kids. But if you are an empty nester or if you have grown kids, you have to, because we're always moms, as we've said in the beginning,
Mhm.
it's not a job that ever goes away, but you do have to redefine what the role looks like.
Mhm.
And that
Mm.
can be difficult, especially if the children don't want to redefine a role. It's like,
Yeah.
I want to
They don't
redefine
wanna
what
accept it.
it looks
They don't wanna
like.
accept their new job description.
No, they're like, "No, I don't want the job redefined for you. I
Mhm.
want you to keep the same
They
job,
want they
the
want us to
same
keep the same job.
responsibility."
Mhm, mhm.
Right.
They get to change their roles, but we have to stay in the same position. We don't get promoted or anything. Mm-mm. Yeah,
We don't
I
get
agree.
promoted.
I
We
totally
don't get
agree.
promoted.
Another thing too is that a lot of times moms just need to hear that it's gonna be okay, that they're doing a great job. They're doing better than what they even think they're doing. They need grace, that it's okay not to be a perfect mother, present, that you're allowed to rest and you're allowed to have dreams and you deserve care too. To hear it out loud, to get affirmation and confirmation that they're being seen.
You have to have a supportive partner or person
Mhm,
who can help you, or maybe
mhm,
you just have circles of other women and moms who can help
mhm, mhm.
to affirm you
Yeah,
because it is needed. It is
yeah,
needed.
yeah,
It can be very challenging
yeah,
for many women who like to
yeah.
know, that they're doing a good job when sometimes it doesn't feel like it. It just does not feel like it. I mean,
So
yes, the children are alive and they're healthy, but sometimes that's the bare minimum. You know what I mean? It's
yeah,
like it seems like everything else is not going well as with this mothering process,
yeah,
and you
yeah,
do need other women, I think, especially to affirm you, to say, "No, you're doing a good job." No,
yeah. I read this as we're wrapping up. I wanted to read this. I read this mother wrote this and she said, "Sometimes motherhood is exhausting because love is heavy."
Hmm,
And she says, "But it's not in a bad way, but in a meaningful way. We carry our children in our hearts long after we stop carrying them in our arms. But somewhere in the midst of caring for everyone else, we must remember to care for ourselves too."
mhm,
And I
mhm,
just thought that was that was just such a powerful, especially when she says, "Motherhood is exhausting because the love is heavy." The
mm,
love we carry for our children, that's a heavy burden, it's a heavy load that we carry, and because we carry that heavy load of love, we want to do all the things for them, and we
mm.
seem to forget that we need some of the things to be done for us.
Yeah, I wouldn't use the word lo to me, I would say, yes, love in the
Mhm,
sense of maybe love that includes, like, responsibility and ensuring the kids' safety and
mhm,
well-being kind of
mhm.
thing, but I feel like love can be light. Like, it doesn't have to weigh you down. But
Right.
but for me, the job of being a mom was so important.
Yeah.
I really started to see pretty soon, especially with my son with the allergies and eczema and all of this kind of stuff that I
And
had
all the
no
things.
right, that I had no
Mhm.
experience with. I'm like, "I gotta figure this shit out, like, we gotta get this together." And so I had to really take it seriously because this the
Mhm.
other thing I feel that women think about motherhood is gonna be easy because they
Right,
see other women that
right.
make it look easy.
That's right, that's right,
And you see other women who have, 1 kid, 2 kids, 3 kids, 4 kids, 5 kids.
Mhm,
I don't know what we doing with
mhm,
all these kids, but that's a whole
mhm.
'nother story. So they have all of these kids, and then they just make it seem like,
They
they've got it
do,
all together.
they make it look, yeah. I have a neighbor who is such a beautiful person, and I think she has 6 kids. I think she has 6, and it's just such a beautiful family, and her kids are friends with my, grandkids, and we're like a village, and it's just such a beautiful thing, and I can remember when, COVID hit, and she had posted a picture, a photo on social media that we're all set because that's when we had to do the classes inside the home because of COVID. And she posted this photo, I'll never forget it. And she was just saying how they're all set up, everyone's ready. And she had all 6 of her kids all set up with desks, chairs, computers, and their backpacks, everything in all this room, where she had just cleared out this room and set it up literally like a classroom. And I thought, oh my gosh, she is on point. She has got it together. And here, my daughter, we had 2 kids in the house and we were crazy, like literally just, but she had, and you're right, like some, they just make it look so easy, and I'm
Mhm,
sure it's not. And I'm
mhm,
sure us looking on the outside and we see the glamorous part of it, and I'm sure that she stresses, she, 'cause she cares so much, but you're right, some make it look like it's very simple.
mhm, mhm. And then women get involved in this mothering thing, and they can't always take it
Yeah,
because they do see, "Wait a second, it's not it's
yeah.
not all the kid is so cute, and they listen to everything I say, and it's just so much
Mhm.
fun, and there's just so much love, and there's so much light, and they're so well behaved," and no, and really, a lot of that stuff also I would like to say to mothers out there to please take some time to learn about being a mom. I'm not saying you need to go out and like read all these books. And I'm not saying that, but I'm not saying you shouldn't. I'm not saying that you need to sit and talk to like every mother you know, but I'm not saying that you shouldn't. I'm saying that you need to actually take it as a real job. You
Yeah,
need to understand what needs to happen here, right? If you were to go out and, like get a new position somewhere, you would want to understand like what are the requirements of this job. Motherhood is one of those that people just think is so even pregnancy, they're like, "Oh, this is how you get pregnant. This is what
mhm,
happens." And
mhm.
pregnancy isn't easy for every woman.
Mm,
It can be very difficult, very challenging. People have complications. They have kids with, different things that happen to them after they're born. And so it's not an easy thing, but learn something about being a mom in this
yeah,
day and age.
yeah,
This day and age. When I became a mom, there was a person who told me I should, because in her day, okay, all you needed was milk and corn syrup, okay? And you could
mhm.
create
I
a
remember
formula
that. I remember
and
that.
give it to
Uh-huh,
your baby. These days, we don't do that anymore, right?
mhm,
And my
mhm,
baby could get very, very sick if I go ahead and do something like
mhm,
that. Maybe back in the
mhm,
day, that was an
mhm,
option. But if you are not learning about what is good for children now, the different things that they have available for
mhm,
children and babies, the expectations
mhm,
change, even in the
mhm.
education system and all of this, like you need to pay attention to this. I'm not saying this to stress mothers out, but
Yeah.
also I
Do your research.
I want them to take it, like, more like, seriously. Like,
Mhm.
you have to take it seriously, not in a scary way,
I know.
but in a way that you are guarding lives, right? Like, that's part of your mission as a mom,
Yeah.
and if that wasn't what you signed up
Signed up
for,
for. Mhm. Yeah.
then it's gonna be even harder for you, even
Mhm,
harder for you.
mhm.
But
But to
sometimes
our
you have to take the time to understand your child. You have to understand that every child is not the same. You
mhm,
can't
mhm.
mother the same and parent the same for
See.
every child. And it's not always the kid's fault that they don't fall in line, right? The way that you want them to fall in line. And so
Mhm.
you need to come up with some different strategies. And sometimes it does require learning some different things and some
Mhm.
different techniques versus the way your parents treated you. There's like 2 schools of thought with parenting. "Oh, Imma do everything my parents did or
Yep.
nothing my parents did."
Yep. Yep. Yep.
You
Yep.
can't just parent kids like that completely. You can't, I mean, that's not gonna be successful 100%
Mhm.
of the time, because
Alright.
there's some things that happen with these kids these days that didn't even exist when your parents were parenting you.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
you need to learn. You're a lifelong learner as a mom. But
Mhm.
when they get older, they're teaching you all kinds of cool things that you wouldn't have known or
I agree with
understood
that.
on your own, which is
I agree
helpful.
with that. Totally. To our mothers, to our midlifers, midlife women, especially the midlife mothers who are in what they call the sandwich generation. And that means where you're parenting children, helping adult children, supporting your grandchildren, caring for aging parents, and supporting your spouse. That's the sandwich generation. I know that one all too well. So, um, just we want you to know from Wisdom and Bloom that we see you. You're doing a great job. You're doing better than you even think you're doing. And we see you and we give you grace, and don't forget to take care of yourself.
Yes. And we want to encourage you. Keep going. You're
Mhm,
doing amazing. And congratulations
mhm,
for signing up for this lifelong shit show called
mhm,
Motherhood.
mhm, mhm. And remember, you are the shit show supervisor, and let them know it.
You
Let
are
them know.
in charge of everything.
You are the HMIC, the head mother in charge.
Thank you for joining us for another episode of Wisdom and Blow. Please share your mothering stories. Share
Mhm,
your, what surprised you about being a mother. Or if you chose not to be a mother, why did you choose not to be a mother?
mhm,
And how is that working out for you in
mhm.
comparison maybe to some of
And
your
no
friends who
shame,
are
no
mothers?
shame.
Because it's all a choice now. And
Yeah.
kudos to you for actually realizing it's a choice and taking it seriously.
Yep, and come check us out on Patreon where we have little nuggets over there just for our Patreons, Join us on Patreon and just, know that we got your best interests at heart, and we're speaking from our experience, which, you know, coincidentally is probably a lot of midlife women experience, but we're sharing ours with you.
Yes, ma'am.
Keep blooming,
Keep blooming,
ladies.
ladies.